Hi, it's me again. It's Adam from the Press Continue podcast, and let me turn this. And today we are going to be talking about one of my Magic Commander decks. I am doing one of my goofy builds, another one of them. Of course, I'm kind of known for doing stupid decks, but whatever. But I'm playing with Johan. So he is originally from Legends. Kind of looks like Darth Maul, doesn't he? Everybody always says I need to get this card altered to be Darth Maul. But he is a, 5/4? And as long as he doesn't attack, all my creatures have vigilance. What the heck do I do with that? Well, you're about to find out. So it's a good thing you tuned in today, right? I am still messing around with my camera a little bit. Some of the focusing issues and things that we've had in the past. So, hopefully I got it looking a little better this time. Let's make sure the chat is working. The chat is working. Good. So, any suggestions you have for the deck or questions you have about why the hell did you put that in there, feel free to ask. Because this is interactive. I mean, I know that there are some. I didn't make it super competitive, and there are ways that I know that I can make the deck a little bit tougher. But this is just one of my fun decks. So let's go through it. So we got Johan as the commander, right? Right there, bam. So let's go through the land, which actually right before this I started messing around with my land base, but I'm usually pretty good about my land base because I rarely get color hosed, even in 3 or especially 2-color decks. 3-color decks I usually don't have too much of a problem, and I realized today that this deck only has like 5 or 6 white cards in it, and I had like 15 plains in it, which is just stupid. So I changed up a couple things. Let's start with the basics. Basically the basics. So we got forests. Lots of foily forests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 forests. Put them to the side. 8 forests. Then we got what do we got? We got mountains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which, okay, here they are again. A couple of those cards from like I said, I like to play in tournaments or, pre-releases. This was when I actually played Standard, which everyone knows I hate Standard. You only play Standard if you hate yourself. So I did terrible. You can see I got 0-2 on that one, 1-2 on that one. But I still met some fun people, had a good time, just hanging out with friends. So I always do that. Got my unlimited mountain there. And then this one, I won a game of Commander, and Jackie drew me a nice little dragon hanging out in the mountains, burning up the villagers. So I also host her channel on Twitch, so you can see her do some custom art. She does some really good work. So check her thing out. It's Jackie Designs, I think. So some more basic lands. Then we have cut down on the plains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Some foilies. And this was a cool Judge promo that I have no idea how that guy got it. It's a foil Urza's Saga land, which they didn't even have foils in Urza's. So that was pretty cool. My Unlimiteds. This from that weird Christmas set that they had. At least I called it the Christmas set. So got some plains. Now we get into the fun lands, right? Of course, Command Tower. Always got to have a Command Tower in there. Clifftop Retreat. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a mountain or plains. Well, I usually don't have a problem with that. We got 4 different red-green lands. The gain a life when it comes in. Gain a life when it comes in. Comes in, you scry 1. I love scrying. It's great for getting through your deck. And Cinderglade, when it comes in, if you control 2 or more basic lands, it comes into play untapped. Okay, so we got some of those colors out of the way. Canopy Vista comes into play tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands, white or green. Thank you. Some more white and green. If you have a forest or plains, comes into play untapped. Comes in tapped, gain a life. And new Benalia comes into play tapped, but you get to scry. Again, I like scrying. Gets through my deck. Saves me a lot of dealing with junk. So I like to scry. Flamekin Village comes into play tapped unless you reveal an elemental from your hand. Well, I do have some elementals in the deck. And it gives you a red, or you can pay a red and tap it and give a creature haste. Comes in handy for those quick times when you need it. Pendelhaven, the original Legends printing of that. No drawbacks in this. Gives you a green mana. And a 1/1 creature, you can give +1/+2 until end of turn. I end up using that very rarely, but I mean, there's no drawbacks to it. So why wouldn't you put it in there? No idea how to say that type of garden, but it comes into play tapped, and you get a 0/1 plant token, and it gives you a green mana. So it's a land that creates a creature when it comes in. This is probably the most expensive card in the deck right here. I believe I got this from a pack when I got it. This is a foil Yavimaya Hollows. I think it's somewhere around $100. But you can tap it to add a colorless mana, or a green and tap it to regenerate a creature. Always good to have optional regeneration in your deck. Trying to figure out where the center is. Here we go. So, Yavimaya Hollow foil. Every time I pull this thing out, somebody always offers to buy it from me. Temple of the False God. Tap to add 2 colorless mana, only if you have 5 lands. And then a Handwire Battlement. Tap to add colorless, 1 red and tap to give haste, and 3 colorless, 2 red if I control this land, and Handwire Garrison, I exile both of them and turn it into, so it's one of the meld creatures. I do not have the other guy in the deck, but let's look at the back of this card anyway. There we go. I think he's one of those guys where when he attacks, he makes token creatures. Whatevs. So there's the land base. Basics of land base. Real good on colors. I usually don't have an issue. Let's shuffle that up for later. For when we do some test runs of the deck, which we will do at the end of the stream. So always something to look forward to at the end, where I run some sample hands and see what happens. See if it plays out the way it's supposed to, or see if I get totally screwed on stream, which with my luck, that's normally what happens. A little more shuffling. Can I get some shuffling music, please? I guess not. I was hoping you guys would hum me something. Okay, land to the side. Let's put Johan over here too. Alright. So get to some of the creatures in the deck, which there is a lot of them. It's mainly a creature deck, because Johan, creatures don't tap to attack. Why wouldn't I do that, right? So we'll start with some mana fixing mana dorks. We got a Bird of Paradise, original revised edition. I like putting my old cards in there. Skyshroud Elf. This guy is total mana fixing. I am surprised more people don't play with this guy. But you tap to add a green and play it as a mana source. Duh. But for 1 colorless, you can turn it into white or red. So I got all 3 colors when this guy is out, and as much of white or red as I need. So real good. Queer on Elves, we always called them the Queer Elves. When it comes into play, you choose a color, so he'll make green and whatever other color you chose. Works out well. Zerte Druid makes green, but when I tap him, each opponent takes a point. Why not hit him for a point when you make mana? Naga Vitalist, add 1 mana of any color mana that your land could produce. So that's always fun when you have a command tower out, because then you got everything you need. Heart Warden, tap to make green, or you can pay 2 and sack them to draw a card. Drawing cards in this deck is a very important thing. I do end up drawing quite a few cards in the deck. I usually have a full hand. Always having options. So, Fairhaven Elf comes into play. You go get a basic land and put it into play tapped. Nissa. This was off that new set where they I forget the name of the set, but all the cards flipped in that special set. So Nissa, when Nissa enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic forest card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more land, exile Nissa, then return her to the battlefield transformed under her owner's control. She is a 2/2. Well, let's see what that flips over to. Is a Nissa Planeswalker, which is a +1. Reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it in the battlefield, otherwise put it in your hand. So I either get a land or a card draw. There's part of my card draw. -2, create a 4/4 legendary elemental, and -7, untap up to 6 land. They become 6/6 elemental creatures. They're still lands. I have not ultimated her yet, but when I do, that's only going to be to give me 6 extra mana, mainly. And there are some other things in the deck that works with tapping creatures, so you'll be seeing some of that later. But everything she does is good. I get land, I get a Planeswalker, I get more land or card draw. I mean, it's all good for me. Here we go. Sentinel Hierophants. All my creatures tap for green mana when he's in play. Why not give me more mana off of everything I have? Here come some of the big guys. Thorn Elemental. I've always liked this guy. Always thought it was a good card. I don't know why more people don't play it, because it's essentially 7 damage no matter what. Because even if he's blocked, he deals 7 damage to the player that you're attacking. So, and there's not too much stuff out there that when they block it can kill a 7/7. So it's 7/7 for 7 mana. I like him. He's a fun card. This giant dinosaur guy for 11 mana, but he costs X less to cast, where X is the total power of creatures you control, and he's a 12/12 trample. One of my new additions to the deck. I have literally played him for 2 mana every time I've put him. Every time he's been in my hand, I've paid 2 for him, 2 green. So that has worked out well for me. This guy, he's something enraged. I can't say these weird names. But he's a 7/6 trample. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, reveal the top 3 cards of my library and put all land cards revealed that way into your hand and the rest into the graveyard. Seems like a risk, right? But discard a land, deal 3 damage to target creature or player. Well, I don't mind slinging lands at people. That's fun. So large mana, I mean, it costs them 8 to bring him out, but you'll see why that's not a big deal later on. Brian's Stout Arm. It's a lifelink 4/4. Pay 1 red, sack a creature other than him, and he deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to target player. Well, guess what? I didn't realize it. The second I saw somebody use this as a commander. I think it was Nathan, and he's dealing the damage when you sack a creature. So you get the lifelink trigger. So he's basically a fling with a lifelink trigger. And Fling is one of my all-time favorite cards and funnest ways to win a game. So why not gain life off it too? Again, when you got big baddies like this in the deck, that's a good combination of things. And these big guys do end up on the table, so it's good stuff. Of course, while I'm building up, I need to gain some life, so I got an Essence Warden in there. Whenever another creature comes into play, I gain a life. That includes my opponent's creatures. And a Soul Warden, which does the exact same thing in white. There's one of those white cards in the deck. Here's another one of those white cards. Big mana creature. 7 mana, right? To get a 7/7. But when he attacks, all other creatures are destroyed, including my own. But if I'm attacking every turn with a 7/7 and wiping the board, I'm okay with that. I'm quite okay with that. So we're good. Hold on. You're on hold music. So, here's another biggie. Okay, Sifter Worm. That's a foily one too. It's pretty. It's a 7/7 trample. When Sifter Worm enters the battlefield, I scry 3. There's my scry mechanic that I love. Then reveal the top card of my library. I gain life equal to that card's converted mana cost. So, big mana cost creatures you've seen, right? Scrying for 3, which is always good for me, getting past the junk, and life gain all in one card. And again, I usually cheat this thing into play. This deck, I put pretty much everything I could to cheat stuff into play. And Johan's a cheater. So, like that. False Prophet. Look at this. May 29th, 1999 promo card, right? I was at the pre-release for, I can't remember the name of this set. But False Prophet, when it dies, or when it's put in a graveyard from play, remove all creatures from the game. This is my way around Indestructible and freaking Avacyn, which always screws me up. So, what are my emergency cards there? Mentor of the Meek. Whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under my control, I can pay 1 and draw a card. There's some of my card draw, and I have a lot of mana dorks and stuff. I mean, you saw this whole row right here, some of the row here. So there's a good chance I'll be drawing some cards off of that guy. Again, what is that, the third white card in the deck? Soul the Harvest. 6/6 trample. When another non-token creature enters the battlefield under my control, I can draw a card. Again, card draw. And I draw cards off that easy. Regal Force, another card draw. When Regal Force enters the battlefield, draw a card for each green creature you control. This can get way out of hand in this deck. I have drawn a good 20 cards off of this guy before. And I don't mind discarding stuff because it's usually just a bunch of land. But, I might have to put a Reliquary Tower in this deck. Because, why the heck not? Then I can have more stuff to throw when this guy's out. It's a good thought, maybe. We'll see. So, Regal Force. Good card draw. Okay, here's another one of those flip set cards where it's all foily. Until end of turn, up to 1 target creature gets +2/+2 and gains vigilance and haste. So there's another one of my haste outlets. And vigilance. You'll see why vigilance is important. I think soon. And I can create 2/2 creatures and transform. So if I create that 2/2 token and transform this guy, it turns into a werewolf. And creatures for +1, creatures I control get +1/+1 and gain trample till end of turn. So a mini overrun. -1, he deals 3 damage to target creature or player, and then I transform it back. Whoop whoop. And then for -6, I get an emblem where creatures I control have haste, and they can tap. This creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. And if I have that, it gets sick. Again, I have not played this guy. This guy has not come out very often, but I can see that ultimate being pretty sick in this deck, especially with all the big fatty creatures. You know something too about this set? These cards, because they're double-sided foil, they're extra stiff, and they feel thicker. So I wonder how that would work in tournament play, because this is, I mean, you can definitely tell when you have one of these coming up or in your deck or in your hand, because just the feel of the card. So I wonder if you can like really stack the deck with these, and how they feel about that in tournament play. Anyone have any ideas on that? Because I'm kind of curious to know. Samut, Voice of Dissent. He's a flash 3/4. Double strike, vigilance, haste. All kinds of good stuff on him. Other creatures I control have haste. Thank you for the haste. Pay 1 white, untap another target creature. Again, comes in handy with these guys. Combat Celebrant. Combat Celebrant hasn't been exerted, so exert is a fun mechanic with vigilance. So if it hasn't been exerted, I can exert it as it attacks. When you do, untap all of the creatures you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. When a creature is exerted, it doesn't untap during your next untap step. Well, I don't care if it has vigilance. If this guy can untap it, it doesn't matter. Of course, you want this guy to come out too with haste, because you're going to surprise attack again, and everything's vigilant, so you still have all your blockers. It doesn't matter. You're going to kill everybody. And then Champion Aronis. Here comes my cheat cards. If you exert it when it attacks, you can put a creature from your hand into the battlefield. Good, right? So, cheating all these big baddies here into play. And I could do it every single turn. Or I can do it twice in one turn if both these guys are out. So, good combinations there. You're starting to see some of the combinations of the deck work. And why I need all these mana dorks too. And why I chose mana dorks instead of land fetching spells. Because I need the creatures out there to deal other shenanigans with having more creatures out there. Again, with Regal Force, with Galta, Primal Hunger, with, well, Sentinel Hierophant, but they're all mana dorks already. But I have early defense too, if I need it, so I can protect the big guys from blocking and just come right back out again because I have a full hand. Moldgraph Monstrosity. It's a trample 8/8. When it dies, exile it and return 2 creature cards at random from your graveyard to your battlefield. Again, board wipes. Recovering from board wipes was a big problem with this deck, and that's why I have random things like this. Again, cheating stuff into play. Let's make another row here. Green Warden. When it enters the battlefield, I can return target card from my graveyard to my hand. Okay, cheating stuff back. When it dies, I exile it and return a card from my graveyard to my hand. So, getting cards back. Academy Rector. When it dies, I have the choice to exile it. If I exile it, I go get an enchantment and put it into play. Now, this is something where it gives me a lot of different options in the deck, which enchantments and spells are what I'm going to hit once I get through all the creatures. This is one of the reasons why I think I should put Perforos in this deck. Again, because I got all these creatures, and you're going to see I got a bunch of token generators that come up too. So, Elvish Piper, but again, another cheat card. Cheat stuff into play. Elvish Piper, cheated into play at instant speed. 1 green, I put a creature from my hand into play. Sylvan Hierophant. If it dies, remove it from the game, then return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So again, getting cards back, recasting them for free, cheating them in. Bloodbraid Elf, a 3/2 haste with Cascade. Again, cheating things into play, which you see that, 3 mana and under. It's going to be like Essus Wardens and Soul Wardens. It's going to be Nissa. It's going to be Mana Dorks to give me more mana to build up even faster. So that's all good stuff. This guy is new that I put in a Fierce Empath. When it comes into play, I search my library for a creature card with converted mana cost 6 or more. Reveal it and put it in my hand. Shuffle your library. So getting stuff to play out of my hand later. I think it's going to work well. I have not actually played it in a game yet. But we'll see how that works. Foil Gamekeeper. I love this freaking card. When it dies, you just exile it. And then you flip cards from the top of your deck until you hit a creature. And it comes into play. All the other cards you flip, though, go to your graveyard. So that's kind of the drawback of it. But still, I can flip it to get usually a big baddie. Either way, recovering from board wipes, I still have creatures on the table, so that's cool. But Foil Gamekeeper, I love it. Woodland Bellower. When it enters the battlefield, I search my library for a non-legendary green creature with converted mana cost 3 or less and put it on the battlefield. Then shuffle your library. Cheating stuff into play. Lets me get to some of my utility creatures, like Eternal Witness. When it comes into play, I return a card from my graveyard to my hand. Good, right? Rexage. When it comes into play, destroy target artifact or enchantment. So I can use Woodland Bellower to get that guy or this guy, whichever I need. And if he's in the graveyard for some reason, I get an E-Witness to get him back and play him again. So there's my destruction card, which again, a lot of the stuff in here tutors for creatures. So never have a problem getting that when I need it. Here's the same thing, but it costs 5 mana for a 4/4. It destroys target artifact or enchantment when it comes into play. I still have ways to get this guy too. Now comes some of the token generators. We got a Dragon's Lair Spider, which I had to get one of these because Dragon's Lair is one of my all-time arcade favorite games. And I actually did an alternate art of this because there is a level in Dragon's Lair where he has to fight a spider. So that is the homemade alternate art that I did with that. I wish I had it printed out to show you guys, but I don't. I could. Maybe? Should I do it? Let's see if I can do it real quick. So I'm going to look for it. I think it's in my... Can't remember if it's in box or Dropbox, because I have both of them. Let's see. Not that one. So again, you guys know I like to do random fun cards. So, where is Dragon's Lair Spider? Should be up here. There it is. Okay. So let me see if I can get this on the screen for you guys. Give me a second to show you the dumb things that I do. Oh, why is it not alphabetical? There it is. Dragon's Lair Spider. So Dirk the Daring fighting the spider. It's kind of fun things I do. So whenever an opponent casts a spell, you can read it right there. Put a +1/+1 green insect creature token into the battlefield. You'd be surprised how many creatures you get off of that stupid thing. So it's a good time. Issue on a delete. Yes. Okay. Boom. That was cool. Goblin Marshal. He's a 3/3 Echo. Costs 6 mana for this guy, right? But whenever you cast him, when he comes into play, or is put into the graveyard, you get 2 1/1 red goblin creatures into play. So he's a token generator. Again, this deck originally when I made it, made a ton of tokens. This is a guy I've taken in and out of this deck. I like him, but I hate him at the same time. But for 6 mana, I'm getting 4 goblins. I don't know. Yes? No? Maybe? I might take that out. I'm not sure. Deranged Hermit, though. Freaking love Deranged Hermit. He's Squirrel King. Every time we played this guy, we had to make the squirrel noises. Squirrels! Squirrels! He's a 1/1 Echo for 5 mana, but when you play him, you get 4 squirrels. 4 1/1 squirrels. And when he's in play, all squirrels get +1/+1. I've played this guy multiple times. Of course, again, you see how I can keep getting him back with E-Witness and where's the guy that dies and gets stuff back? You know who I'm talking about, right? Green Warden. So I can get a bunch of squirrels off him. He's fun. I don't think I usually don't pay the Echo for that guy. Now 2 of my favorite cards now. Verdant Force, of course, being my all-time favorite card, and I put my foil version in there. At the beginning of both of these guys, at the beginning of each upkeep, you get a 1/1 green Sapperling token. Of course, Tendershoot Dryad. All Sapperlings get +2/+2 as long as you have the City's Blessing. City's Blessing is if you have 10 or more permanents. And Verdant Force is just a 7/7 that does it. Get you tokens every turn. So these guys, when they come out together, it's just people scramble for board wipes. So it's pretty awesome. One of my favorite combinations to have on the board. 2 of my favorite cards in the game. Of course, I have a foil City's Blessing that I just got, which is very pretty. It's very foily. It is like a Judge promo or Game Day promo. I don't know how you got it, but I love it. Thank you for the person that gave that to me. And then I got the foil Sapperling and a bunch more Sapperlings that I've shown you guys before. Oh, I have another City's Blessing. Well, cool. Look at that. But now I have a foil one. What's on the back of the foil one? Is there anything on the back? Oh, there is. At the beginning of your keep sacrifice creature and return this target card name, Reckoning Phoenix. And this is why this card has gone up in value, because everybody's playing that Phoenix in Standard, which kind of reminds me of one of the old Phoenixes that I used to play that kept coming back from the graveyard. But I have it for the City's Blessing. Okay, so there's the creature base, right? Let's mix that up a little bit before we get to the next, all the spells and enchantments and the fun part of the deck that makes it all really work. I just made a mess. This deck I put quite a few of the foils that I had in it, because foils are fun. I actually went after a couple of the foil cards for it. I'm not going to foil out a deck ever. I think the most foils I have in any one commander deck is like 56 foils. That's my Thrax Amundar deck, which I will show you guys eventually. Of course, not today, but look forward to that on another Thursday. Okay, now I'm getting hot. Okay, so here's some of the work behind the deck, right? Lifecrafter's Bestiary, everybody calls it the Pokédex. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1. Again, I love scrying. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may pay 1 green if you do draw a card. Well, I end up drawing a lot of cards off that. Let's check the focus. Am I at a good spot for focus? Should be here. That's a little better. Okay. Worship. Always gone in a lot of my decks. It's an enchantment. Damage that would reduce your life total to less than 1 only goes to 1. So people doing damage to me, I can't die. The only way I can die is loss of life. Which there's a lot more loss of life cards out there than there used to be. But that has saved my butt many a times. Growing Rights of however you say that. So this is that new Gaia's Cradle. When you play it, look at the top 4 cards of your deck and reveal a creature card and put it in my hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 4 or more creatures, transform the card. And when you transform it, again, this is why I got a lot of mana dorks in there. It either taps for 1 green or taps for 1 green for each creature I control, giving me essentially a Gaia's Cradle. Yeah. Amazing card. I wanted it from the second I saw it, because I used to have Gaia's Cradles. I actually like that better than Gaia's Cradle because I couldn't tell you how many times I would play a Gaia's Cradle turn 1 and have no mana and no creatures, and I would just sit there with no mana the entire game and get totally screwed out of the game because of Gaia's Cradle. So I like that better. Current Negotiations. This is a card that you never see. I can tap an untapped creature I control to do 1 point of damage to target player. So, again, you see why I have so many mana dorks and token generators. You can also do this even if they have Summoning Sickness. So, great card, because that's the card that's tapping it. Which also teams up with the Throne of the God Pharaoh. At the beginning of my end step, each opponent loses life equal to the number of tapped creatures I control. Now, okay, I'm going to stop you right now because I realize that this counteracts Vigilance. Okay? I rarely play Johan unless I need to for some crazy reason. Usually I am attacking out, tapping creatures. Even if I just tap a bunch of mana dorks whenever I feel like it at the end of my turn, it's still doing a lot of damage. This has killed people in games. I have been killed by this in games. So, excellent card, excellent cheap artifact. There's the Fling. Talked about Fling effects. Nice foil Fling. Went after that for a while. I like that it's the original Fling art as well. So, good with Fling. Goblin Bombardment. Always been one of my favorite cards. I really want a foil of this, but it's like stupid expensive. Maybe like $20-30, but that's a lot for an old common. Sack a creature, deal 1 damage to target creature or player. Again, I usually do that in response to somebody board wiping or destroying one of my creatures. Again, I have a bunch of tokens out there, so I don't mind having this. It's cheap. 2 mana to get it out there, and it's always done work. So, and I always like the card. That's always been a fun card. Here we go. Overwhelming Stampede. So all those creatures and tokens, those crazy big creatures. Till end of turn, creatures you control gain trample and +X/+X, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. So for 5 mana, and I have like a 7/7 Thornwood Elemental out there or whatever, everything's getting +7/+7 and trample. Yes. And of course, good old Overrun in foil. Had to track that card down too. Gives all my creatures +3/+3 and trample till end of turn for the same amount of mana. So, excellent card. Rancor. Give a creature +2/+0 and trample. When it's destroyed, it goes back to my hand. So it's basically a spell that never goes away. I used to have a foil Rancor. I feel like I lost the deck that had a bunch of foil blue, and I almost had a whole blue green foiled out deck in the old days, and I don't know what happened to it. So that is a sad day every time I see Rancor, but it's still a great card. I may keep it in, I may not. I'm not sure what to do with that. Path of Discovery. This is something new that I've put in there, and I have not had it hit the table yet. But whenever a creature enters the battlefield under my control, it explores. So exploring is reveal the top card of your library, put that card into your hand if it's a land. Otherwise, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. Then put the card back or put it in your graveyard. So it's kind of like a weird scrying for land or your next card. I'm not sure, but again, with all the tokens coming off of Verdant Force and the other baby Verdant Force, every time those come into play, I'm basically doing this. And I mean, if I keep putting the same card back on top of my deck, I for sure know what I'm getting next turn, and everything's getting they're coming out as 2/2s or 4/4s, Saprolings. So I'm excited to play this card. I can't wait to see it go off. Giant Squirrel, Might of Oaks. Target creature gets +7/+7 until end of turn. My favorite thing to do. Here it is. Okay, right here. Let me find the other card. My favorite thing to do is to have a Thornwood Elemental, Might of Oaks, attack for 14, and then fling it. And do 28 points of damage in one big swoopy shot. Swoopy. Is that a word? Swoopy. Oh, and then throw a Berserk in there, which doubles its damage and gives a trample. So 14/14, 28/28, fling, you dead. One person out of the game at least. That's a fun combination. I have had this happen. I have done this in a real game and obviously won it because they were gone. So that was fun. All of it at instant speeds. So even if I'm going down, I can still 7, 14, 28, fling. And hit him for 28 if I'm going out. So fun combination that I like. Harmonize, draw 3 cards. Again, card draw. I can keep bringing it back with some of those other cards that I had, like E-Witness and things like that. Here's another cheat. Rishgar's Expertise. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. I'm usually drawing about 5. And then cast a card with converted mana cost 5 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. So free creature and cards. Eldritch Evolution. I have mixed feelings about this, but you play it, you sack a creature, search your library for a creature card, converted mana cost X or less, where X is 2 plus the sacked creature's converted mana cost. Put that card into the battlefield and shuffle your library, exile this card. So if I sack a creature with a casting cost of 5, I go get a 7. If I go sack a 1, I get a 3. It's just a way to search and get creatures out. I feel meh about it. This is my favorite one, Natural Order. Especially when you play it turn 3, because turn 1 you play a land, Bird of Paradise. Turn 2 you play a land and another Mana Dork. Turn 3 you play Natural Order. And sack a green creature, search your library for a green creature card, and put it into play. I instantly go for Verdant Force every single time. Because that on Verdant Force on turn 3, building an army, it's huge. But you become a target real quick. Defense of the Heart. Again, one of my favorite cards, especially in Commander. During your upkeep, if one of your opponents control 3 or more creatures, sack Defense of the Heart, search your library for up to 2 creature cards, and put them into play. Shuffle your library. I have played this card 5 times in one game. It was literally back to back to back to back to back. I put all my big guys on the table and just whooped everybody. It was such a great time. I love this card. That's why I was laughing when it came out, when I flipped to it. And Quicksilver Amulet. I wish I had the old one. I don't like the new art. The old art had like somebody, like a wizard with a big lion coming out of his hands. But you pay 4 to put a creature card from your hand into the battlefield. I feel mixed about having it in there, but it is a cheat cards in the play kind of card. So, and it's at instant speed. So I think that's cool. But that's some of those spells behind it. That is everything that is in the deck. Let me shuffle up some stuff and show you how it plays. Let's get some shuffling music, shall we? Shuffling music. Let's see. Go to... Let's do some... Let's see what's going on with the chill mix today. Because I saw somebody else do a chill mix the other day and I kind of dug it. So, if my internet decides to work. Is my computer working too hard at everything? Could be. Music, please. Oh, really? I'm gonna get a commercial first. Gotta love YouTube commercials. Okay. I don't know. I'm thinking, whenever I do this, should I have music in the background the whole time? Would that be a good idea? Is that a little less boring? So I might have to do that. 'Cause this is kind of soothing little extra when I'm breathing. So who's gonna rip on me for the way I'm shuffling this deck up? I just do it this way when I'm testing to kind of get the mana ratios throughout the deck so they don't get too screwy, too mana pockety. I think it just gives a little better testing. Oh, look at that. I end on the Yavimaya Hollow foil. Alright, let's give it a little shuffle. Looks like I'm shuffling Totally Darkness cards. So I'm oh yeah, no, I did decide what I was going to play this week. So I've been playing Super Mario Brothers 3, and I haven't played the game in like 20 years. So that's what I'm going to be doing on Wednesday and Thursday. Schedule changed a little bit. We will not be having shows on Friday until we find someone new. Because Sterling Had too many things going on. He spread himself too thin, so he is not going to be in the network of streamers for Press Continue podcast. But he may come back at some time, and he may come back at random times. We left the door open to him because he's a good guy, and we want to see him come back. So Sterling, if you're listening, there's a spot here for you whenever you're ready to come on back home. Alright, I'm just going to turn the music down a little bit, and we're going to run some test hands. How's that sound? I need something else. What do I need? Hold on, be right back. There we go. Whoop. A little nicer. Okay. So let me turn that down a little more. And let's do some test runs with Johan. Oh, I'm kind of digging this music though. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see the test hand. I always put all my lands together to see what I got. Okay, and this is a new test for me because again, I just changed up the mana in the deck. So we got both color mana, 2 greens, haste outlet, Rex Sage, current negotiations, and Tender Shoot Dryad. Awesome. So first turn, we draw. I always play the tap lands first, gain a life. Turn 2, we might get there. Forest, Bird of Paradise. Good stuff, right? I'm just gonna try to put it back here behind the lands. Turn 3, boom! Ah, I was so hoping to get a something else. I can't even think of the card. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got white, so pay 3 for Mentor the Meek. And then here we go. Turn 5. Or turn 4. Sorry. Turn 4. Play a Tender Shoot Dryad. Actually, I'm gonna put the deck back here to make a little more room. Tender Shoot Dryad. And then we go around the table. I get 3 Saprolings, right? Draw a card. I get another Plains. So let's play the Battlement. Oh wait, it's my turn. So I would have had that because it's a 4-player game. And on my upkeep, right? I would have done that and drew a card, an extra card, because whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield, I can draw cards, right? So I still have 5 mana. We'll spend 4 for the Hierophant. And let's see. Now all my creatures tap for mana. For green mana. So why the hell not? We'll play a Rex Sage. Because I'm sure there's an artifact to destroy. Tap Bird of Paradise to draw another card. So this is what? Turn 5? And I have all this on the board already. And I definitely have the City's Blessing, so let's put the City's Blessing out there. So, okay, that's my turn. Then we go around the table again, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on my turn, when that sapling comes in, tap, draw a card, draw for turn. Play another land. I got all the lands except for red. What the heck, dude? I got 1 red. So you see how this deck easily can get out of control real fast. For that, create a token and transform to have more mana dorks. I mean, it's just, if somebody kills something, e-witness. Oh, wait, shoot, hold on, back up. Forgot my own plays, okay. Here we go, yeah, so I made a 2/2 creature, right? So 2/2 creature, pay 1, draw another card, Deranged Hermit, tap 5 saplings, Deranged Hermit, make 4 squirrels. 4 more squirrels, tap 4 more creatures, draw 4 more cards. I mean, you see what's happening here. It's just getting ridiculous. Let's see, I can tap more creatures, play an Essence Warden, tap more creatures, play a Natural Order, sacking whatever, sack a sapling, and go get a Verdant Force, and then I win. I mean, that actually was a very, very strong run for the deck. You see, I never had to play Johan once. Never needed him, but he's there if I do need him. Yeah, that was a good run. Let me try it again. See what we can do with another another set here. Shuffle that up. How's this music working for you guys? Is it too soft? Should I turn it up? I don't know. I guess I'll find out when I check my own stream later. Let me check it out. Oh, I can't. My phone is completely dead. So yeah, that got out of control pretty quick, and I still had a handful of answers. Those tokens coming into play with the draw engine, and everything taps for mana. Yeah, that was good. That was good. That was good. That makes me excited. It is cold-blooded. Okay, let's do the next draw hand. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Verdant Force in the opening hand, which I don't want. So I want to be able to cheat him into play faster. So I got some interesting speed up a little bit. Okay. So first turn I will draw. Get a Might of Oak, so I'm not getting a good start here. So I will play the Temple and Scry. Let's see, when I Scry, I do not want a Plains. Get rid of that. I need other cards. Next draw. I'm getting all the utility cards. What is going on here? Put out a Plains. Mana Dork. Okay, so he's making all 3 colors right now. So that's good. Draw next card, Command Tower. All 3 colors. 1, 2, 3, 4 colors, 4 of everything. Nothing really worth playing. So I'll just sit on 4 mana and draw a card. Try not to be threatening. 5 mana. Still nothing worth playing for 5 mana. See, it's playing a little different this time. So sit back and be non-threatening. There's banner number 6. Scry 1. Scry 1. Yes, I will keep Woodland Bellower on top. Because that next turn will be cheaty. 3, 5, 6. Woodland Bellower. And search. I would guess I would probably need. It's got to be green and it's got to be 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got it. This is so good. Ready? You get Nissa. Go get a forest. Put it in my hand. Whoop. Alright. This is turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is turn 6. Turn 6. Whoop! We have 7 mana. Nissa flips. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Is it when I have 6 or when I have 7? I have to have 7. Dang it. Thought I had that figured out. So this is what I'm gonna do. Seven mana. Three, 6. Seven. Play a Nova Blast Worm. Be the target, why not? Because if either one of those survives, I'm good at this point. Because I have Berserk and Might of Oaks in my hand. So that is all good stuff. Okay. Think I'll get the land next turn? Whoop! No! But Overwhelming Stampede. Berserk also kills your creature at end of turn. So I was hoping to get another land so Nissa would flip. But at this point, I think I would go 1, 2, 3, 4. Nova Blast Worm for 14 at someone's face. No one sees that coming. All this is dead. I still have 3 mana, so I can play a Combat Celebrate. Untap. Draw. Life Prester Bestiary. Lets me scry every turn. No, I would not play that. I'd play a Johan. Now this is an interesting thing right here. This would be a good ruling question. Because when he attacks, destroy all other creatures. So if he exerts and attacks, do I get 2 attack phases? Even though when he attacks, everything dies? I think so, because it's like his attack trigger and his attack trigger. So I would get to... I actually wouldn't even play Johan. I would attack with both exerting. he would die. One, two, three, four, 5, 6. Play a Soul Harvest. Draw. There's land number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Play a Deranged Hermit, getting the 4 squirrels. See, now that's like a whole different deck because I'm playing more oppressively, right? And I draw a card. Getting a Tender Shoot Dryad. Oh my gosh. That is freaking awesome. And at this point, I'd probably attack with the 6/6. And Berserk it. Make it 12/12. Get another land. And, wow, dude. Oh, Deranged Hermit's gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 for a Tender Shoot Dryad. Building up for the overwhelming Stampede, right? Scry 1. Well, no. I would have 4 more Sapperlings by now. And all my squirrels. Draw. Play a creature spell. Pay green. Draw a card. Okay, I would overrun or overwhelming Stampede at this point, and basically win the game, because I would have everything would be +7/+7, so that'd be a 9/9. These Sapperlings would be 3, maybe 10/10s. So I'd have all those 10/10s. I'd have these 8/8 squirrels. Squirrels are fun. But just because, why not? We're going to play the Bloodbraid Elf and see what the Cascade gets me. And it gets me a Soul Warden. Oh, and I would have did that to draw another... Well, wait. I would have played that... Well, what would I have done? Drew a card, and then Bloodbraid Elf, Cascade. Got that guy. Which gets my card draw token engine going on. You see why this deck is fun. I mean, even just playing against yourself, you get a lot of stuff going on the board. Even if you get screwed in the beginning, you eventually get to the point where you can just overrun the field with big baddies that people just can't deal with. So, because I had a slow start where I just hung back at the beginning, but by the end, I had the never-ending win of wipe the board, or decide who gets to keep what, because a Nova Blast Worm. So, it's just a fun deck. I love it. People look at Johan and they're like, why? Why do you even play that? Well, first off, there's not any other red, white, blue commanders, or red, white, green commanders that are any good. So I found one that I can abuse its ability if I feel like playing it, but I don't need to. So that is my Johan deck. I hope you guys enjoyed checking it out with me. Again, every Tuesday I do Magic Commander tech decks. I I hope you join me next time. I hope to hear some feedback while I am playing Magic here on Tuesdays. Like I said, this week I will be playing Super Mario 3. Hopefully beating the game with no warps. I'm already on World 4, so that's where I'm starting tomorrow, is on World 4 again. And tune in next time, where the gaming never ends, as long as you press continue.